Hey guys, I did a video on a trend reversal trade that I use in my trading, which I think quite a few of you have seen. And I had some really good questions on YouTube in the comments about the trade. So the trade happened again today. And this is a trade that is available generally around 80% of the days when the market is open. So we have trend days, or what I call grind days, either higher or lower, around 20% of the time. So what that day looks like is the market opens, moves in one direction and keeps moving, right? So it's a day where the market opens a little bit higher and then finishes near the highs. That's what's called a trend day or grind day. Again, that happens around a little over 20% of the time. Trend reversal days happen around 80% or a little less of the time. So the vast majority of days, there's a possibility of this trade being available. There are also days where we just move sideways and there's no trend, which leads me to one of the first questions in the comments. And the question was, how do I trade this trend reversal trade in a sideways market? And the answer is you don't. For this trade, you need a trend. And since it's a trend reversal trade, you have to have that trend first. When I am trading a setup, there are certain parameters that are essential. As in, if I don't have that parameter in place, like that event doesn't happen, then I can't do that particular setup that's geared toward a certain event. And this trade is a trend reversal trade. So if you don't have a trend, then I'm not using this trade that day. And I go through in a Word document, a written document, the exact steps necessary for this trade and how to do the trade. And that is linked in the description of this video, as well as pinned to the top in the comments. So if you need a written, here's how the trade works, just download that document. It's totally free. And it's literally spells out what I'm going through in this video. But the first thing that's absolutely 100% necessary to do the trade is a trend. And you can see today, this was the market at the open. We moved higher and we're trending higher, a very clear uptrend. This red line is the 20, the simple moving average, the 20 period simple moving average. And if you don't have a clear trend like this in the candles, you can use the simple moving average or any moving average to show you what the trend is in the time period you're looking at. So clearly this red simple moving average, the 20, is moving higher. So we have a clear uptrend. So what I'm looking for is the possibility of a reversal. And we get that here at begins around 10:45, a little bit after that. We get a power bar. And what I do when I'm trading is I combine bars. So here we have 4 bars, but I'm mentally combining that into one bar. So it's one power bar move to me. It happens near the 20, which is another essential component of this trade. Look at this move here where you had what could have been a power bar move, but look at where it happens, right? The 20 is here, and look at how far away this is. And even after this quick move lower, you're not at the 20 yet, right? You're definitely not under the 20 and you're not even at the 20. Okay. So for this trade, I have to have a power bar move lower under the 20, which is what I get here. Essentially what you're getting, it's a little bit off, but you're getting what's called a fallen 3 formation in your candles. That's when you have a large red bar you have a move higher. It's also sort of like a bear flag, this move higher and then a break lower, right? So down, a little move higher, which again is similar to a bear flag, and then this break lower. But don't get caught up on the technicals. If you don't know exactly what that is, don't worry about it. I'm just following this exact setup again that I explained in the document that's linked. Power bar, a base, and here's my base. So now I've got a small base on a 2-minute chart. It's usually 4 to 5 to 6 bars. It can be less, but this is my base. It didn't go back over the 20 on this bounce. Another thing that I want to see, if this had bounced back up to here, then I wouldn't really be interested in this setup because it would have broken the setup, right? The setup wouldn't trigger because an element is missing in the setup. It goes to the 20, right? The setup is still intact. It goes to the 20, bases, the 20 starts rolling over, and this, the bottom of the base, for me is my short trigger. So that's where I'm going short. In this case, the S&P 500, as it breaks this base. My stop now is the top of the base. So in this case, this is 6,013 about, and this is 6,015 about. So I'm risking 2 points just to keep the math simple so I don't have to do pennies on a $6,000 index. I'm risking 2 points, and I've entered the trade short at 6,013 here. Now, another question in the comments was, where do I take profits? I teach my Trading Your Edge group multiple ways to take profits. I think that taking profits is a little more individual than entering a trade. How you exit depends on your risk tolerance. It depends on your trading style. It depends on your particular money management approach. But let me give you 3 different ways that profit could be taken on this trade. And I'll show you how I do it first, what I was looking for. When I get a setup like this, I'm looking for a target. So what I want to do, the first thing I want to do is look at the chart and say, given this, where do I think SPY can go at this point? I'm going to look back to the left and look for my nearest support level, and it's going to be right in here. And the reason that is because this was resistance here. We traded around this level a little bit. Again, a second time it was resistance and broke through. So this prior resistance is now support. So this area, it's an area. It's not an exact to the penny I'm looking at, but this area is support. I notice that it also lines up really well with VWAP, or volume weighted average price. I have VWAP on my chart. And for me, since this support area also lines up with VWAP, I'm just going to use VWAP as my target. When I have a target, I want to have a tight stop at the beginning. And in this case, it's pretty tight, right? That's my risk, is 2 points. So I've got a tight stop at the beginning. I want to then have a loose stop and give the market room to bounce around as long as it's not getting anywhere near my stop. And then as I get near my target, I'm going to put a tight stop on. So with this trade, once it hit the target, I didn't exit, but I exited just above here around 605. And that's because I went to a tight stop once we got to my target. Another way to do it, and this is the second way, is to use the 20 as a stop. In that case, if you didn't exit at VWAP, you would have been taken out of the trade here around 608, right? So in both of those situations, the risk was 2 points and the gain in this case was 8 points at VWAP or right around VWAP. And in this case at 608, it was 5 points. So in either situation, your reward was multiple times the risk. If you set up trades, and this is just a mathematical statement, if you set up trades such that your risk is much less than your potential reward, meaning your reward is 2 to 3 to 4 times your risk, you don't have to be right as often in order to be profitable. So I personally want a very small risk with the potential for a much higher return. In this case, risking 2 points and looking for 8 to 9, 7 would be fine. If I missed my stop by a little bit. So in this case, that 8 points is 4 times the risk. So again, that's one way to do it, is by using VWAP and a target with support resistance. Another way to do it is to use the 20. Another way to do it is to, once you've reached, let's say 2 times your risk, and in this scenario, since again, the risk was $2. So once you reach $4, around 6,009, you could put a trailing stop in there. And that would have been trailed out probably around 6,006 or 6,007 in this area as the S&P continued lower from that 2 times your risk point and then bounced here, and you probably would have gotten stopped out here. So it's up to you what works best for you. Stops, I have found in teaching traders, are one of the most important and most ignored rules of trading. So whatever you find that works best for you, there are several options that you can use to do that. So again, I wanted to go through the elements of this trade. Again, it's available most days on SPY, on Qs, on multiple stocks, the Mag 7. It applies to any stock that you're trading, including the market. And again, if you need the written out steps, that's linked to in the description for this video, as well as in the comment pinned to the top. So I hope this helped to answer some of the questions, again, in the comments on the other video that I made on this. And if you found it helpful, please like and subscribe. And thank you very much.